Chinese hackers used to take first place in hacking competitions around the world, but after 2017, their presence suddenly disappeared. At first, no one understood why Chinese hackers had stopped participating. But then, in 2019, an incident occurred that exposed China's dangerous plan. 2017, a group of hackers from China traveled to Vancouver, Canada. Their mission was to find hidden vulnerabilities in the world's most widely used software and devices. Their targets were Google's Chrome browser, Microsoft Windows, and Apple's iPhones. But these people weren't there to do anything illegal. They were participating in a legal hacking competition called PWN2Own. This is one of the world's biggest hacking competitions, where hackers try to find security flaws or loopholes in company software, and in return, they get cash prizes. The prizes in this competition range from $150,000 to $1 million. The biggest prize is awarded for finding a vulnerability that no one has discovered before, known as a zero-day vulnerability. When a hacker finds such a flaw, the details are given to the respective company like Google, Microsoft, or Apple, so they can immediately fix the problem by releasing a new update, and the hackers receive hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash prizes. In other words, this is an ethical hacking competition where hacking doesn't harm anyone but actually improves security. For many years, Chinese hackers led these competitions, whether it was PWN2Own or any other hacking event. Chinese hackers always came out on top, but after 2017, everything suddenly changed. The Chinese hackers who used to actively participate in hacking events worldwide suddenly vanished. After 2017, everyone noticed the absence of Chinese hackers in all the hacking events. This silence was bothering everyone, especially the United States. And during this time, a random message from a major Chinese cybersecurity firm caught everyone's attention. Qihoo 360 is one of China's top cybersecurity firms. Its CEO, Zhou Hongyi, made a public statement in which he was seen heavily criticizing these Chinese hackers. He questioned why they were showcasing their hacking skills in foreign countries. He gave the statement to China's news agency Sina, where Zhou said that performing well in such events is just an imaginary victory, just for show. His stance was that the vulnerabilities you find are worth not just a few $100,000, but billions of dollars. Shortly after this statement from Qihoo 360 CEO, Chinese hackers stopped participating in international hacking competitions. But it turned out that the Chinese hackers didn't do this voluntarily. Rather, the Chinese government had stopped them. If anyone took the CEO's statement seriously, it was the Chinese government itself. Not long after, the Chinese government officially banned cybersecurity researchers and hackers from participating in overseas competitions. Immediately after this ban, a new hacking competition was launched within China itself, called the Tianfu Cup. This competition became an alternative to international contests, and the prize money was set at over $1 million. News of the Tianfu Cup's launch raised alarms in many countries, as it signaled that China was now preparing itself for cyber warfare using hacking. In November 2018, the first Tianfu Cup event was organized in Chengdu, China. The $200,000 prize was won by a researcher from Qihoo 360, Qi Junzhao. He discovered a very powerful and dangerous hack on Apple's iPhone. He started the attack through the Safari browser, then found a loophole in the iPhone's core system, and through this flaw, he was able to remotely control any iPhone just by getting someone to open a specific web page. This meant that if someone visited that particular web page on their iPhone, their phone would be taken over by the hacker without them even noticing. Chi Jun named this exploit Chaos, and the name was perfect because in the coming months, this hack was going to become a nightmare for cybersecurity experts worldwide. The difference between China's Tianfu Cup and Canada's PWN2OWN was that in PWN2OWN, the hack was given directly to the company, but the Tianfu Cup did do this through the Chinese government. The Chinese government made it mandatory that any hack found in the Tianfu Cup would not be given directly to the company, but would first go to the Chinese government, which would then pass it on to the company. And this is where the real disaster was about to happen. This was a hack that, if sold on the black market, could fetch millions of dollars, and criminals or governments could use it to spy on thousands of people. 2 months later, in January 2019, Apple released an update that quietly fixed the flaw discovered by Chi Jun. But the real surprise came in August 2019, 7 months later. Google published a research paper revealing that a mass-level hacking campaign was underway on iPhones, and people's phones were being hacked on a large scale. Google's research identified 5 different exploit chains, and one of them was the same Chaos exploit that Chi Jun had demonstrated at the Tianfu Cup. In other words, the exploit that won Chi Jun the prize was being used for mass surveillance of iPhones. Google's researchers reported that the real-world hacking attacks they detected had many similarities to the Chaos exploit. But Google did not reveal who carried out the attack or who the victims were. Later, it was discovered that the victims were Uyghur Muslims, and the attacker was none other than the Chinese government itself. Since 2014, China has committed very serious human rights violations against Uyghur Muslims and other minorities. All of this has been happening in China's northwestern province of Xinjiang. There, China has detained millions of people in camps without any crime. Women have been sterilized to reduce their population. Cases of torture and sexual abuse have also been reported inside the camps. Every phone there was monitored to check for any religious content. If anything was found, the person would be severely punished. Chinese officials claim they are doing all this to prevent extremism, but the US and many other countries have declared it genocide. China's hacking campaign was not limited to Uyghur Muslims. Journalists, activists, and anyone who questioned Chinese government policies were also targeted. When Google's researchers published their report on iPhone hacking, the media connected all the dots within days. Later, Apple also posted that this hack had indeed been active for 2 months, which was the same period when Chi Jun won the top cup. For American experts, it was now clear that China had followed the strategy outlined by Qihu 360 CEO. Stop Chinese hackers from going abroad, utilize their skills within China, and then use those hacks for surveillance. To prove this, US surveillance agencies did a full technical breakdown of the Chaos exploit, and it matched exactly with the Tianfu Cup hack. Later, Google's deep investigation also confirmed that Chaos and the real-world attack were structurally identical. But the matter didn't stop there. In February 2024, some data was leaked on the code-sharing website GitHub. This was data from a Chinese company called iSoon, an IT security firm. The leaked data included company emails, chat logs, and spyware development details. The leaked data revealed that this company creates cyber spying tools, which are later given to the Chinese government and the People's Liberation Army. The leaked chats mentioned contracts between the Chinese Ministry of Public Security and iSoon. It was revealed that iSoon charges the government $10,000 to $75,000 for every hacked email inbox. Today, the Tianfu Cup has entered its 8th year and is sponsored by China's biggest tech giants like Topsec, Alibaba, Baidu, and Qihoo 360. But now, American officials are very concerned because the people and companies involved in this competition are showing links to the Chinese military. Topsec is a Beijing-based company that organizes the Tianfu Cup. According to US officials, this company is actually using the Tianfu Cup to recruit China's nationalist hackers. All these things indicate that under the guise of the Tianfu Cup, China is preparing its cyber weapons. And when national powers support hackers, it's not just to win awards. Their goals are something else entirely. In 2024, the US Treasury Department's data was hacked. According to the US, Chinese state-sponsored hackers hacked the US Treasury Department's computers and stole sensitive documents. In 2024, Chinese hackers also hacked the networks of at least 9 US telecom companies, including AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. In 2021, Volt Typhoon, a Chinese hacking group, targeted US energy and water filtration systems. In 2023, there was also a malware attack on a US military base in Guam. These are just a few references to hacking incidents involving Chinese hackers. Experts say that when Chinese hacking groups target infrastructure, they maintain silent access inside the system for years and only cause damage when the time is right. All these things make it clear that China is preparing an army of hackers for cyber warfare within its own borders. A war where not missiles, but just code, can bring an entire country to its knees, where network jams can cause more damage than airstrikes, where spyware tools on phones are more dangerous than real-life agents, and where a single click can crash the stock market and send a wave of fear through the public.